Okay, if you guys watched last week's episode, you will know that I wanted to talk about a prison system in America that I liked and I wanted to incorporate all across the country. And I know you might be thinking to yourself, Savannah, the American justice system is very screwed up. It is beyond repairable. Like, we should just start from scratch, clean slate, burn it all to the ground, and hopefully find some kind of true semblance of justice and equality and blah, 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 blah. Yes, I do feel that way as well when you turn on Fox News and CNN and you look in our world and you see our president, you see what is going on in the media and you go, this is just great. Our founding fathers are rolling over in their graves. I feel that way. But there are a few in America that I just think are beautiful, and I just want to show you guys, because if it gives me a glimmer of hope, I think it can give you guys a little bit of hope as well. And this first story is kind of near and dear to my heart because I'm a rodeo girl, barrel racing, goat tying, pole bending, manner shooting, the whole 9 yards. And I think that this is, at least for the Southerners, for the city people, you guys might think this is horrendous and a human rights violation, but for everyone in the South, you'll appreciate this. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you guys to the Angola Prison Rodeo. Now, this is one of the longest running prison rodeos in the United States. It started in 1965, and in 1965 and 1966, they had 2 private rodeos just for the inmates to do with just the prison guards and people watching them in the arena, just to let them go have fun. Get all their testosterone out, get all of their energy out, and just let them go have fun doing some saddle broncs and bull riding and just, manliness and all of that nonsense. But in 1967, they opened up a select few tickets to the public. And it was a, bring your truck, park it up against the rodeo fence, and just sit there and watch. Little did this prison know, though, that this would become one of the most popular prison rodeos in the United States to this day. Spectators of this rodeo have the chance to buy tickets in as early as February for this rodeo that's in October. Everyone looks forward to this. I personally have never got to go, but if I am in Louisiana, I honestly might make a trip of it this fall. I have always wanted to see this. There have been a lot of prison rodeos that have become a result of this one that started in 1965, and they're becoming more and more popular, definitely in more rural, southern, blue-collar, red states, but still, it gives me a little bit of hope. Now, you might be wondering to yourselves, if you're a city person and you see a bunch of inmates in black and white stripes like this fighting a bull, you might be like, well, this is a human rights violation. This is torture. Why are you forcing them to do this? First of all, no one is forced to do this rodeo. You can do it. You don't have to. But what I think is really cool about this rodeo is that it gives them the opportunity to earn money that they can either send home or they can use in commissary at the prison itself. And it's a reward. You don't just get to do the rodeo. It's an incentive for good behavior, for being, a model prisoner inside the prison community system, if you will say. Now, offenders at this rodeo, if you watch interviews or if you see them talk about it, they have nothing but amazing things to say about it, that, when you are in prison for a life sentence, this gives you something to work for. It gives you a purpose, because we talk about so much of the mental health aspect in America these days. And I don't think it's talked enough about the mental health state of prisoners. Now, you may be wondering or asking yourselves, why would I care? A lot of these people are in here for petty, small, misdemeanor crimes, and they're kind of cast aside by society. Now, granted, I think it's called into question whether or not they should be in the prison system at all, and how come the people that do deserve to be in there aren't there. I'm not talking about that right now, but that is something that we should discuss on another day. But I just think this kind of stuff really just helps give these men purpose. And we all kind of do need a purpose in this world, or else you feel useless. Now, the events that you can compete in these prison rodeos are things like bull riding, saddle bronc, barrel racing, steer wrestling. And for city people, you might have absolutely no idea what any of those things are. So bull riding, saddle bronc, and bareback riding are all like this picture here. You basically get strapped to a 1-ton animal. They're freaking huge. And you basically have to ride it for 8 seconds. Steer wrestling is when you're on a horse and you and another guy get in the box, which is a piece of rodeo equipment, and basically this guy with a flag goes psh, and you nod, and you have to run up beside the steer, grab it by the horns, and roll it on its side. They're really cool to watch. If anyone ever has the opportunity to go to a rodeo, not even just a prison rodeo, but just a rodeo in general, I absolutely recommend it. It's one of the oldest, most American sports that exist. Like, I know we say baseball or football are American sports, but truly, rodeo is one of the most American sports that there is. This is when I laugh when people say that Americans have no culture, because rodeo culture is one of the richest that we have. It dates back to the beginning of this country and the beginning of its foundings. One of my personal favorite events to watch at a rodeo is a poker game. Now you might be wondering, how is that an event at rodeo? It's basically where 4 to 6 guys sit at a table and they pretend to play poker, and then they let a bull in the arena, and basically the last person sitting at the table, either because they had the most balls of steel or because they just didn't get like shoved by the bull, you win. It's pretty cool. I think it's cool. I think it's funny. I kind of want to do that, but also I kind of want to, you know, like keep everything that's inside my body inside. So I just thought it'd be cool to watch this prison rodeo interview. Now, this is from 9 years ago, but it just will give you guys an inside glimpse into what a prison rodeo is like. So.
The stands fill quickly for Rodeo Sunday in Louisiana.
It's such a southern thing to do.
It's a family day out.
As you can obviously tell, it's grown quite a bit from 1965.
As man takes on wild beasts.
Fried Coca-Cola, get your fried Coke.
Outside, there are carnival rides for the kids.
I would also like to remind everybody that a lot of these inmates, they're not just competing in the rodeo,
and crafts,
but they're working at it too. They're vendors.
But look carefully.
They're the food sellers.
These are not cowboy outfits. They are prison straps. And everywhere in the background, guard towers and barbed wire.
That would be bareback riding right there.
To the Angola Prison Rodeo, where participants like Chris Gage are all inmates, hardened criminals.
I was convicted of 1 second-degree murder, 2 manslaughter, and 1 attempt manslaughter. I was sentenced to life plus 100 years.
So he's basically going to be there for a hot minute.
It was the worst prison in America. It had the bloodiest background. It has the worst inmates you could possibly have. You're walking around with a lot of murders and so forth in this rodeo.
But for 5 weekends a year, they are cowboys.
Stay with it, cousin. Stay with it.
This would be bull riding.
Freedom away from everyday prison life, really. There's a little break from the everyday stress that you go through in here.
33-year-old Gary Sladen is 8 years into a 67-year sentence for armed robbery.
I mean, anytime you get put up against a 2,000-pound animal, you have no choice but to be scared. You just separate the men from the boys this week.
Now, I personally, I did bull ride, and I will never do it again. Cross it off my bucket list.
See me do something positive for a change.
Like most weekends, today's rodeo is a sellout. 15,000 people. Prisoners are escorted in and sit separately from families. Most of the men come from the inner city, and their lack of experience shows.
I didn't even know all bulls was males till I came there and go.
Yep.
It's more than just bull riding.
It's bull poker.
This is convict poker. Inmates sit at a table pretending to play cards while a 900-kilogram
that guy's like, bye. Let me just go jump the
the
fence.
last one seated wins.
Honestly, it's literally just dumb luck. Sometimes the bull will go after you, sometimes it won't. Usually, this event is either put on by a bunch of drunk men or rodeo clowns. But I guess in a prison rodeo, you get prison
To
inmates.
understand why this
It's
rodeo
just how it
is so
works.
important to these inmates, you need to know that for many, this will be their only contact with the outside world. 2/3 are serving life sentences, and life means life here. They'll die in Angola.
We incarcerate more people per capita than anywhere in the world.
The crowd's favorite is the last event, Guts and Glory.
They tied this token to the bull, to the center of the bull head. So when they let the bull out, they give us 3 minutes to actually snatch the token.
They got a chip. It's $1,000. If nobody gets in that minute and a half, that buzzer's gonna go off.
$1,000 on the line. I mean, I really wouldn't want to go head to head with a bull.
It really proves that people can change. There's no one here that's going to hurt you or going to cause any problem. Now, I have some in cell blocks and some places that would.
Kidnapper Donald Ford has been here for 34 years.
3 lives in 20 years.
So you're not leaving this place?
No, sir. I'm working for a piece of real estate to die in.
The
working for a piece of
59-year-old
real
now
estate to
dedicates
die
his
in. Oh
time
my
to
gosh.
making jewelry to sell at the rodeo.
These
I
are
can't
just
help but kind of feel bad for these
moments,
guys.
right now. Moments that you enjoy. I ain't had a visit since 1980.
For a few hours a year, a small, and at times painful reminder
He's a kidnapper. But I also
of
do
the
believe in
freedom they
repentance.
lost for the horrible crimes they committed. In Louisiana, Mike A. Moore, 7 News.
So that was just a taste of what a prison rodeo in southern Louisiana is like. And I think, honestly, more prisons in the South, I think, should do that. Because in the South, we look forward to rodeos every weekend, okay? It is how it is. There's a place in Texas called Cowtown Coliseum, all right? This rodeo goes on. It's one of the oldest rodeos in Texas. It has the original stockyards that was here when, wagons and cattle were going out west, all right? They do rodeos there every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Us Southerners, we love a good rodeo. And I think this is an amazing outlet for a lot of prisoners to be able to feel like they're human again. And I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ministry. If you could call it that. It doesn't necessarily have to be religious, but I do think that this is a ministry. The next one that I would like to talk about is this one. Now, this one is kind of different. We're just gonna go look through some pictures really fast. This is a prison in also the South. This is in Florida. This is the Monroe County Zoo Jail. Now, this place was actually started by complete accident. In 1994, this prison in Monroe County basically got word that there was like a bunch of like ducks that were just like taking up residence in part of the prison out in the yard, and some of them were injured. So what do hardened criminals in Florida decide to do? They decide to like pin it off and make it like a separate area for the ducks. And then they started taking care of the ducks. And then they started feeding the ducks. And then the ducks didn't leave. And then people in the community like got word that the jail was keeping ducks. And so they started asking, hey, yeah, we have like this pig that like won't go away. Like, would you guys want the pig? Oh, yeah, there's this horse, like, blind in one eye. Like, no one will take it. It's gonna either get put down because no one freaking wants it. Would you guys like it? Oh, yeah, we have some lemurs that, like, need a home. Would you guys be willing to maybe, like, care for them? And the Monroe Sheriff's Jail was born. Now, this one, I think, is really, really sweet because the prison rodeo is definitely a means and a way for them to get out testosterone, energy, just be rough and tough for a minute. But this type of jail allows prisoners and inmates to reconnect with the more gentle, loving, human side of our humanity and of our nature. So I just want you guys to watch this one. This, I think, is really freaking cool.
I mean, it's a good experience to be able to bond with the animals.
It's very Floridian.
Takes my mind off of being in jail.
Of course. Florida. Of course. Why are all the good jails in the South?
I was pretty stoked when I found out I got the job. I know I'm a hard worker and I like animals, so.
Now, inmates, not all of them are allowed to work inside this zoo. This one only selects a few inmates to be inside the zoo. And it is a very sought after position in this jail. It's like precious. As a of right now, this jail in Monroe County has over 150
between the jail and the nearby golf course, getting hit by cars. So they had this fenced area underneath the jail and decided to round up the ducks, put them on the fenced property, and have the landscaper care for them. And the rumors started going up the keys that we were taking in animals, and animals just started getting dropped off. And it kind of grew from there. And I actually have been here almost 12 years now. When I arrived at the farm, there were probably about 20 animals. And over the years, having taken in more animals, we have approximately 150 now.
That's crazy. And this was in 2018, so I can only assume that that number has gone up significantly in 6 years. That's just...
This is Tatiana. She's a ferret, female ferret. She's cold right now. I like the ferrets. I let them out, run around every now and then. They're all cool. They all got their own characteristics.
There's the pig.
The biggest apprehension I had was working with inmates because I had never even been to a jail before. So I was told that they would train me and teach me how to work with the inmates. At first, I was definitely a little intimidated, but I do have a radio and we have security cameras watching me at all times.
Plus, none of these inmates would ever ruin their opportunity to go to work
in our
inside this
jail upstairs, and only 4 get to work on the farm. So it's a volunteer position. They are not required or forced to work on the farm, and that's because we have animals here. And if they don't love the animals and working with the animals, they're not going to do well.
Yeah.
Most other jobs in the jail, if you request to work and they put you in laundry, you don't get to decide, I don't like doing laundry. You do laundry.
Look at their mini ponies.
Everybody wants to come down here, but it's, you know, a lot of the people want to come down just to be outside or just
burglary and stolen property.
Take advantage of the benefits, but there's a lot of work involved. So I grew up with snakes, so I'm a big fan of all the reptiles. There's one turtle over there that I've really kind of connected with. His back legs are hurt, so he's got to be separated from all the other ones, but I take him out all the time and let him do his thing.
I have had a couple of close calls or bad experiences with inmates. A lot of times they just get mad at each other and start fighting. So I call for backup and the deputies come down. And for the most part, having been here 12 years, I get really good inmates.
Get me in trouble. Animals are therapeutic, you know?
Hanging out.
Like, it's just nice to get away from all the drama upstairs and stress. Come down here, take care of the animals, and yeah, I have a day off Friday, but I don't take it. I'll just come down anyway. Yeah.
I mean, if I was in jail for life, I would want to go work
so
in the
that's
zoo.
obviously one of the biggest reasons, and you know, just being able to be outside, get out of that jail mentality.
This is Angus. He's a resident 2,000-pound bull. How long has he been here, Wormy?
10 years.
10 years.
Just
so they got him when he was a baby.
You would never think that there's a 2,000-pound bull underneath the jail. The tegu, the 10-foot Burmese python. You know, there's just some stuff that you're kind of like, wow. You know?
How cool is that, though? That they're giving these guys a second chance.
When an inmate finally comes upon their release date, I have mixed feelings. First of all, if they're a really good worker, I hate to see them go. However, I build a relationship with them, and I really wish the best for them when they get on the outside.
I mean, that's such a cool program.
I've always worked my whole life, so being able to stay active, I mean, I wasn't really living the best lifestyle out there, so it's kind of bringing me back into my element and, you know, helping me to be a better person, you know, trying to change.
And see, this is what, for most crimes, I think should be the purpose.
You never know. Might pick up something later in life.
Resuscitate their humanity.
The reason I've been here so long is because I'm challenged every day. In most jobs, I get bored really easily. If there's no challenge and I've accomplished what I set out to do, I'm ready to move on. But here, every day is a new challenge. I think think this program is great for the inmates. I think the love that the animals give them, the unconditional love, some of them have never experienced that before, and the animals don't judge. They don't care that you're wearing an orange outfit. They just know you're the person that loves them and cares for them. So I think the inmates and the animals benefit from the love.
And those are 2 prisons in America that I think we should try to duplicate across the entire country. And yes, I'm well aware that the first thing that most people are going to say is, well, the cost of a lot of these is going to be pricey. Let's go look at your budgets then, okay? I want to see all the ledgers. I want to know you're actually spending your money, because I am positive that most jails could cut back on a few things. Maybe stop, so much pointless spending and money laundering, and do something actually productive for society and for these inmates. In the case of a prison rodeo, a rodeo does actually make a lot of money that goes back into the jail, and it's self-sustaining for the most part. And in the case of the zoo prison in Monroe County, there's a lot of animals and a lot of animal shelters that need homes, that need help, that need volunteers. And I think it would actually kind of be a really cool program to try to incorporate jails and prison systems with animal shelters. And I think we could get rid of a lot of kill shelters in America. I know we have so many animals that need homes, and that's why a lot of people say adopt, don't shop. And that works for dogs and cats, but when you live in the South and you're surrounded by agriculture, there's a lot of animals like you saw in that zoo that are like pigs, goats, horses, bulls, that, I mean, it would be a lot easier to, just put them out of their misery. But in cases like these with the prison systems, it gives these inmates and these, honestly, some of these guys are terrible people. It gives them a chance to get in touch with their humanity and with their hope, and it gives them another opportunity to be human again. And in a prison system that the only point just seems to be to fill beds and to just lock them up and leave them there, I think this is a far better option for a lot less violent crimes, in order to give these guys a second chance at life on the outside, if their sentences allow it, of course. All right, guys, that's all for now. Comment down below what type of video you guys would see next. I have some ideas for Thursday, but this one I was kind of excited about, talking about prison systems in America that I think are doing an actual good job. Anyway, see y'all next time.